Hey, 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 good morning. Welcome to the homestead. Welcome to T-Ham 141 Homestead. My name is Tracy. If this is your first time here, welcome. If this is your millionth time here, welcome back. This morning I am going to do something that I try to avoid on the channel. And that's okay. Because I don't care what your political ilk is. You're welcome here. If I ever make you feel not welcome because you believe differently than me, let me know, and I will hit myself in the head with a hammer. It might be a rubber hammer because I'm a pansy, but I'll hit myself in the head with a hammer. I titled this Dear Mr. President-elect, because I really feel that I should address President-elect Trump. The chances of him seeing this are very slim, but I've been watching. Oh, had somebody and lost them. Sorry. But I've been watching videos, and I have friends that I've talked to that are terrified, anxious, filled with anxiety because of an election. I know how you feel. I felt it in 2020. But I want to talk to the president elect. Mr. President elect, tread with care, sir. Because you have a large portion. I watched the election all night last night. You have a large portion of your citizens that are terrified right now. They have been told, whether it's true or not, that remains to be seen, that you are a fascist dictator, that you want to take rights away, that you want to hurt them, literally, that you want to attack them in retribution for what has been done to you. And Mr. President elect, you know as well as I do that none of the people who voted for your opponent did any of that stuff to you that has been done to you. The lawfare, the attacks. They've been sold a bill of goods, and it remains to be seen if those bill of goods are going to be true or not. I pray not. I don't believe they are, but that's okay. Mr. President, your first task is to unify the country. Even though it may not be your job to reach out, I would ask you to reach out to those who are really scared right now. They have been told that you are going to take away their reproductive rights, when, to my knowledge, that is the farthest from what you have done. What you did was you took the federal government out of it, your Supreme Court, and the states now decide. And there will be some states who decide against that. Against abortion. But the other states will be, and to those in those states that seek that kind of treatment, I guess, whatever you want to call it, vote in your state elections. New York State passed Proposition 1, which is a horrible piece of legislation in disguise of unicorns and rainbow farts. But it passed. I want to tell my friends that are scared and anxious over this election. I want to tell you, don't be. They said the same things about his first 4 years. He's going to do this. He is going to do that. And he didn't. No, Mr. President-elect, you are technically a lame duck president. You cannot run again. You have stated you wouldn't if you could. Don't let that go to your head that you know, that you have a carte blanche. A carte blanche thing to act a fool. You don't. There are checks and balances. We have a pro-Constitution Supreme Court. You will be wielding a lot of power. You have the executive, you have the Senate, you have the House, and you have a conservative Supreme Court. Be the president that all of your constituents need you to be. I have friends that are for things I am against, and they're worried. I have friends who are against things that I'm for, and they're worried. Stick to the Constitution, Mr. President. Hey, I don't know who just popped in. Say hi. I know that the title of this is off-putting to some people, but you know, there's so many people I was watching on YouTube, people gloating over, they're watching young men and women crying because of the result of an election, because these people are literally convinced that their way of life is going to end. It is not. It is not. My predictions are prices for everything are about to go down. Markets are about to soar. Wars that are currently undergoing are going to stop or go cold again. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. one of the reasons I'm making this video. One of the reasons I'm making this video is to have a record. I don't care how you voted. If I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I don't care how you voted. You be kind to me, I'll be kind to you. Or I'll be kind to you and you be kind to me. Either way, I don't care what your persuasion is. If you're far left, I'll disagree with you, but I'll still love you and I'll still talk to you. We'll still be friends. I don't want to lose friends over something as stupid as politics, a disagreement. I remember a day when we could, where we could disagree with someone and everything was fine. We were still friends. Good grief. I remember getting in fist fights with friends of mine and 5 minutes after it's done, going and getting something to eat. There is, I think we're going to find out that mainstream media has been outright lying to us. Now, I'm going to tell you, I watch Fox News, but I am under no disillusion that Fox News is biased as all get out. They are just as biased as CNN or MSNBC or any of the other ones. And it's wrong. It is wrong because they are supposed to hold whoever is in control of the government. They're supposed to hold them in check. They call them the fourth estate, the fourth branch of the government. They're supposed to keep, no matter who's in charge, they're supposed to keep them in check. They need to get back to doing their job in that respect. I pray that the president-elect will unify this country, will listen to his opposition, the people who voted against him, who will listen to them and take their concerns seriously. Yes, guys, I am Donald Trump supporter. I voted for Donald Trump, but guys, if you feel a certain way, then that's a valid concern and it needs to be addressed. And we need to unite this country. This country is divided. It was starting to divide. I don't know if any of you guys remember H.W., the first George Bush. He sent me to war because, well, Iraq had oil that he wanted, probably. And wars boost economies. But that back then we were divided. The thing was we understood that you believe this way, I believe this way, we can still get along. The most ardent far left zealot, I have to believe, is that way because they love the country. I believe that's a misguided position to be in, but so is being a far right zealot. You guys have been told that the president elect is a racist. That didn't come up until he started running for president. Before that, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all of them loved him to death. I want to assuage fears today. Now we're going to have to see what happens. Okay, my predictions might be totally wrong. I don't think they will be. My predictions are the cost of living is about to drop. I believe that yes, if you are in the country illegally, you may want to take care of your court dates and stuff. If you've crossed the border in the last 4 years, you may want to take care of that stuff. But Donald Trump is not anti-immigration. He is anti-illegal aliens. See, they play tricks with words. Oh, they're undocumented immigrants. Well, we used to call them illegal aliens. They are people who are not from here that came here illegally. They broke our laws to get here. Start the path to citizenship, but no one is against legal immigration. Coming to this country properly, the way our laws have set up for you to do so. That's America prides itself on being a melting pot. Just remember, when you jump in the melting pot, you need to melt. And yes, keep your customs and traditions, but you become American. I don't even like the term Caucasian American, African American, Catholic American. You're American. But we, as whether we were Harris followers or Trump followers, whatever side of the aisle we fall on, we need to make an effort to reach out to the other side and say, hey, we are in this together, whatever's going to happen. Now, would I be making this same video with the same tone as I'm doing now had Kamala Harris won? Yes, I would like to think I would. This is not a gloating thing. I am concerned about my country. We are in trouble. And it's going to take all of us making efforts. Be kind, be gentle, be understanding. We have, guys, I watch YouTube a lot. That's where I get a lot of my news from and stuff, which is probably not the best thing in the world. But we are a country full of flawed people. Those people who want open borders, most of them are coming at it from a compassionate side. We have to give each other the benefit of the doubt. I had a discussion with some of my friends today in Canada that are they say they're anxious over the results of our election. And guys, I was watching some YouTube videos of the news and people reporting how the news was reported last night, and how some of the networks were putting it. They were downright politicking against, not for the one side, but against one side. And terror, I would be terrified if I believed some of that stuff. Now, our new president-elect is not perfect. He has a big mouth. He exaggerates. But there's something very telling. When he took office, we had been in Afghanistan for a long time, and he sat down with the leader of the Taliban. And he told the guy, if one more American dies while I'm president in Afghanistan, I'm going to kill you, basically, is what he said. And then he handed him a picture of his house. I've always believed in peace by superior firepower. We are the greatest country in the world. Our differences actually make us stronger. I don't know what's going to happen. I was talking to a friend of mine, and yeah, we got what we wanted. The guy we voted for made, he's in office. Yay. And his policies line up with my stance on the policies. But I am still convinced God is working his end time agenda. And how those two are going to correspond with one another, how they are going to intersect one another, it's going to be interesting to see. And nobody knows how that's going to happen except God, the Father. I'm hoping that the president-elect, and this title of this is Dear Mr. President-elect. So I'm going to say, Dear Mr. President-elect, your words matter. Please try to be more diplomatic. I know that we don't get the results that you want to bring without the disposition that you get, that you have, without the attitude that you have. Hey, Justin, welcome. But I am very aware that right now almost half of the country is terrified because they have been sold a bill of goods that I do not believe is true. Trump is going to close the border, and yes, he said that he was going to any illegal aliens are going to be exported, or whatever they call it, and that's fine. But be mindful that your justice is tempered with compassion. And guys, listen, I am a fundamentalist Christian, conservative, Bible believing. I'm a conservative 100%. But our justice has to be mingled with compassion. There's so much that when I started thinking about, wow, I should go live, there's so much that I started thinking about. And the biggest thing in my head is, listen, I don't want to alienate anyone, because my channel depends on, people of all walks of life, all views, all stances on the issues. I homestead so that elections like this one and the last one will have minimal effect on me. I'm off grid. I have solar panels and a well and all that other stuff. And that's why I homestead. I have been able to, praise God, I have been able to minimize my grocery bill because I raise pigs. I got a freezer full of pork and venison. Yes, sir, I am in New York, upstate New York. I surely am. But not New York City. The thing about New York, if you look at a election map of New York, you will find that we are very red, except for a few blue counties. The problem is the population in those blue counties far exceeds our rural counties, and therefore so goes New York City, so goes our electoral college votes. And some people are like, oh, the electoral college, well, he won the popular vote too. And without the electoral college, you would have like 2 or 3 states deciding, the most populated states deciding elections. Little states, the smaller states and stuff, less populated states wouldn't have a say. But yes, I live in the People's Republic of New York. I don't know why. I'm probably mostly just because I'm too lazy to move. Peanut the squirrel. Yes. Oh my goodness. For those of you who don't know, Peanut the squirrel was a man found a dead squirrel that had a baby. He took that baby, nursed it, raised it. It became a TikTok sensation, a viral sensation. And, well, New York, as with everything in New York, has a law against that. He could have avoided the whole thing by becoming a wildlife rehabilitator. But because the squirrel lived inside and was treated like a pet, without permission of the government, the state government, they raided his house. They raided his house and tore apart a couple of his rooms and confiscated Peanut the squirrel and a small raccoon. And because it is against New York state law to have to possess wildlife as a pet. Now, Peanut the squirrel, apparently when strangers came in the house and a bunch of ruckus or destroyed it, he bit somebody. Well, the only way to tell if an animal has rabies is to go into the brain. The only way to go into the brain is to kill the animal. So they euthanized Peanut the squirrel and the raccoon. Now, neither of these animals were neither of these animals were in any danger of dying until New York State stepped in. And then they they could have been put in quarantine and watched. We know how long it takes for rabies to go. Now, the thing is, there's a human life at stake. Once you get the symptoms of rabies, once the symptoms of rabies start showing up in a human, you are going to die. Okay. That's why if you get bit by an animal, sometimes they'll give you the shots just in case. It's better to get the shots and live than not get the shots, and because once you show symptoms, it's over for you. There is no treatment for rabies. But yeah. Now, did they need 10 people in a 10-person SWAT team? No, they didn't. Elections have consequences, and Kathy Hochul, but I don't even know if Kathy Hochul knew anything about Peanut the squirrel. This is we elect people to make our laws, and they made that law, and this guy disobeyed the law, and that has consequences. Now, I am on his side. My cat, right there. If you come in to my home to hurt my cat, which I own legally, all that good stuff, heck, he's free to come and go. You and I are going to have problems. Now, a 10-person SWAT team, I don't think I'm going to be much of a problem for you. Yeah. But all I can say is I don't know what the guy's TikTok or YouTube channel is, but support the guy. He lost a pet that he had for 7 years, and go check him out. There was no reason for things to be handled the way they were. They could have gone in, they could have inspected, they could have told him, and maybe they did. I don't know the whole story, but the way this should have been handled was, a knock on the door. Hello, Mr. Such and Such. We see your viral squirrel videos, and you have a wild squirrel in captivity. You don't have the permits from the state, the permission from your big brother to do this. You need to correct that. You need to get the paperwork, yada, yada, yada. You need to do that. And boom, the guy could have taken a couple courses and become a wildlife rehabilitator, or got the permits so that he could do what he was doing. However, they went in it as, you're breaking the law, and the law is absolute. Temper your justice with compassion. Always. Now, the lady who reported this guy apparently she was bragging about it online, and she got doxxed, and so she removed her internet footprint. Oh, I am in New York. I am in upstate New York. I am not in New York City. I am not in a city. The I am north of Rome, New York. On the Tug Hill Plateau. Yeah, I live where I can pee anywhere on my property, and if you can see me, you're probably trespassing on my property. I own 20 acres here. But yes, it was definitely mishandled. It did not have to go that way. Now, um, my there was a time my sister-in-law was a wildlife rehabilitator, and Wendy and I, my wife who passed away a couple years ago, were on her list for transporting animals for her, to release them and stuff like that. And somebody had a couple raccoons. We put the raccoons in a cage, started taking them to release them. Game warden saw the raccoons that were just having a blast in the back of the truck in the cage, and pulled me over, and they said, yeah, you're not allowed to transport these. We explained what was happening, that we were releasing them. He says, well, if they were raised in captivity, they they won't make it in the wild. Well, they weren't raised in captivity. Were they caged? Yes. But they were released enough that they knew how to find food. No, I do not have a TikTok. I do have a website, thand141homestead.com. And I sell merch. I have a Facebook, which is Tracy Hand, TracyHand. I think it's Tracy Hand 74. But yeah, I am an off-grid homesteader. I live on 20 acres in upstate New York on the Tug Hill Plateau, just east of the Adirondack Mountains. I have chickens. I raise pigs in the summer. I garden. I shoot. I have a tractor. I heat with wood. My refrigerator is propane. My freezer is electric. That's run by my 1,000-watt solar panel system. I do a little bit of everything. I am 53 years old, about to turn 54 in January. And yeah, it's all about being ready for when things go bad. I started homesteading. Actually, I started prepping. We were homesteading already because we gardened and canned and all that other stuff. And I started homesteading because if you take prepping to its natural conclusion, you're going to start homesteading, because preps only last so long. Even if you purchase, and for some people it's a viable option to purchase the food in the buckets there that last 20 some years. Oh, okay. All right. I remember that. Yeah. Nice. And I think I gave you guys some stickers. Nice. Yeah, that was a blast. I love riding West Virginia. I think they're planning another trip this year. I'm not sure if it's going to be a long one. I'm not going to go because I've got a face cord and a half to get in. It's not a lot of firewood that I'm neglecting, which is one reason for this video, because it's not raining right now, so I could go out and start getting some more wood in. I don't have a whole lot more to get in. I burn about 12 face cord of firewood a year for heat, and then I can use that for cooking also. I was riding with my brother and some friends, and yeah, we just had a blast. That was great. We were able to see the horses, the wild horses. That was really cool. But yeah, absolutely. Over the past couple weeks, I just hit 1,700 subscribers and rising, which is really cool. I'm making tens of dollars on YouTube. And yeah, it's the upstate New York. It's a lot like West Virginia, except there aren't as many mountains and hills. Oh, nice. Nice. Hey, Dave, welcome. Chopping leaves in the garden. Nice. Nice. Before winter, I should try to build me a couple more boxes. Oh, Michigan. Michigan's beautiful. It's a beautiful state. I should build me another raised bed. I'm going from the back to Eden wood chip gardening method to the to back to raised beds, because it's just, I don't know if I didn't execute it properly, but it's just taken forever to get the soil built up the way I want it over the Tug Hill clay. And so I've got horse manure. Well, I got pig manure that and horse manure that is ripening for next year. So I think I'll wait till next spring and build me a couple more boxes. Hopefully, God willing, if I'm right, our things will be a little more affordable next spring. If I'm wrong, maybe I'll have a little more money next spring. I don't know. It's amazing to me. I have people on my YouTube channel from Canada and England. In fact, I'm an honorary Canadian. My friends from Canada made me an honorary Canadian. I got a cup too, saying that, and a T-shirt. I got subscribers from England and down south in the States and all sorts of stuff. I am going to be starting to put out more content. I backed off on content for a while when I went to I went on vacation and I broke my camera. the LED display on the back of my Kodak camera, you can't see what you're aiming at. So then when I got back, I ordered this GoPro with this kit here with the mic, and it's working really, really good. From what I've seen, I really like what I'm seeing. I want to get a case for that so I can protect it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Always be nice. Always, always, always be nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing that there's almost 1,800 people out there that are interested in my little life. but anyway, I think I've kind of said what I wanted to say to the president-elect. Temper your justice with compassion. You, by winning the electoral votes and the popular vote, he has a mandate to do what he said he's going to do. Do it respectfully, do it carefully, do it thoughtfully, do it kindly. There's enough people on YouTube rubbing it in people's faces and laughing over people crying. These people, there are people out there that are literally terrified right now of what is going to happen. They think that someone's going to be busting down their door and taking their rights. I don't believe that's going to happen. Actually, it was Kamala Harris at one point that back when she was a district attorney that said, just because you're a legal gun owner doesn't mean we're not gonna come through your locked door and make sure you're being safe with your guns. Well, you don't quite understand the Fourth Amendment, I don't believe. But and they tried to make the abortion issue a huge issue. Abortion was passed from the federal government when they got rid of Roe versus Wade, because the federal government has no right to tell the states how to handle that issue. The Constitution does not give the federal government that power. The states have that power. Okay, what do you do if it's an issue in your state? You vote in your state, and if the vote doesn't go your way, do what people in California and New York are doing. Leave. Go to another state that holds closer to your values. And I know that that's harsh. My state does not hold to my values at all. Okay? We are the most anti-gun, anti-freedom state. I mean, there's California and there's New York. What happens in the Communist Republic of California happens in the People's Republic of New York shortly after. And my state does not align with my values. I'm too lazy to move. I have family up here. I have family down south too. I have family in free states, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, I think even. But uh but yeah, I'm not going to move until I have to. I'm going to suffer with it. And if I need something that my state says no to, I can go out of my state to take care of that need. Well, yeah, it's really hard because you got to understand our whole Constitution was on the ballot. Our freedoms, they were talking about things that the housing market. That there's a housing crisis. We have a housing crisis because we've imported millions of people into our country that we didn't have 5 years ago. And so now there's a housing and then we gave those people a bunch of money and helped them get housing. And so now we have people that are citizens that have lived here all their lives that can't afford the housing, because when you increase the demand, the supply either keeps up or doesn't, and ours isn't keeping up. But they were talking about giving a $2,500 or $25,000 incentive to people buying their first house to help them out. Here's the problem with that. Where's the money come from? Well, you got to print it. Well, there's no gold behind our money anymore, so that's going to raise inflation. Then you have all these people going out and say, hey, I got $25,000 now. I'm going to buy a house. Boom. Prices. Now you've raised demand even higher and thrown money into the mix. And now the housing market, the prices of housing goes up by, let's just say around $25,000. The child tax credit. We already, in New York, we have child tax credits. I'm not sure how that works. But $6,000 they were talking. Well, here's the thing. Number one, where you come up with the money. Here's the thing. Instead of giving them $6,000 in a tax credit, let them keep $6,000 of their own money. Reduce taxes, make the cost of living affordable. Don't raise minimum wage, which we know puts small businesses out. Look at California. You've had big chain restaurants and everything go out of business in California, or start serving bread, because they had to raise minimum wage. They've closed down. We have all over the country, because of the raised minimum wage and other things. We have businesses that have been around for years going out of business because they can't afford it. So lost my point. Man, I hate my mind sometimes. But these policies, we know, we can see what they've done. Don't raise minimum wage, lower the cost of living so that minimum wage is enough to live. Now, if you think you work as a fry cook at McDonald's and you are going to be able to afford a house, a car, your kids' college, schools, all that stuff, no, that's an entry-level job position. All right? You're just When you were getting $8 an hour minimum wage, you couldn't get my order right. Now you're making 15 and you still can't get my order right. um it's just common sense. We know that we are 36 trillion dollars in debt. Now they go, what is it? Quadrillion, I think they came up with the word quadrillion, because soon the United States will be owing 36 quadrillion dollars to other countries. Yeah, we've got to do something about that. We're having problems making the interest payments on that. We've had a couple times where our credit score, basically the country's credit score is like letters A plus, C, B plus, A minus, A, that type of deal. We've had ours reduced a couple times in the last 10 years because our ability to make those payments is getting less and less because the interest on that is more than we bring in. So bring in more. No, dummy, borrow less. We can't afford to hand stuff out the way we would like to. Holy cow, I would love to live in a free society that where everything I needed is just there. I would also like to own a rhinoceros. It's just not in the reality cards. If you're a homesteader, you know what work is. And work should equal positive results. If it's not, change the work. Anyway, I didn't mean to get into all this stuff, but I'm not sweating over a pile of wood. But guys, yes, the Bible says, be anxious for nothing, but in all things, do it with prayer and supplication, letting your requests be made known to God. God is in control. He knew who won when Joe Biden won. He knew what was going to happen to Joe Biden in those 4 years. He knew who won last night. He's known it since before the foundations of the world because he's outside of time. It didn't catch him by surprise. Things are going to get bad. That's why I was saying a little earlier, it's going to be real interesting to see. I believe that God God chooses the kings and presidents. However, and this is like, oh wow, this is going to be good. He's doing things. His positions on issues line up with my positions on issues. Yay! But God is working his end time results. How do these two things line up? End times, bad times. Last 4 years Trump ruled, good times. So how do these line up? I have no idea. I'd be lying if I said I did. It's going to be interesting to watch. We have wars that need to be stopped. All they are doing, the good thing is I don't believe Russia is in a position to take on the United States, and I think Putin knows that. I'm hoping that My message to Israel would be what you must do quickly. The Abraham Accords, Trump is going to hold Israel and the other Arabic nation, the other countries around them, to those accords. I think we put off the EV mandates for the next 4 years anyway, so that maybe when they do come back around, maybe we will be able to handle them. Maybe our infrastructure will be good enough to handle them. Yeah, we can look at the last Trump presidency and see this is not the end of the world, my friends. A Harris presidency would not have been the end of the world. The end of the world is coming. Only God knows when. But don't be anxious about it. Don't be fearful. Obey the law. Do not riot. Things are going to get, if you mess around, you're going to find out, because that's just the way our president-elect is. But knowing that, you can prevent finding out, because you can prevent yourself from messing around. If I don't want to be raided by a federal agency, I will not break federal law. Ta-da! Problem solved. Your rights, nothing is going to change from yesterday as far as abortion. Nothing is going to change from yesterday to today. It's the same. If your state says that you can do that, then you can do that. If your state says you can't, then you can't in that state. But you, freedom of travel, you can, go do that, gun rights, an armed society is a polite society. Criminals tend to think twice when the victim may be armed. That's true. If they don't know who the sheep is and who the sheepdog is, then they're not going to attack they're going to think twice before they attack anybody, because after a while, they're going to attack a sheepdog and they're going to learn, I don't want to attack that sheep herd anymore because I can't tell the sheepdog from the sheep. Yeah. That is what I got for you today, Mr. President-elect. I really, really wish you well. I wish you wisdom. I pray for your protection, just like I would have wished for Kamala Harris, and that I did wish for Joe Biden. Wisdom, protection. I believe God is working out his end times agenda, and at some point things are going to get a lot worse than they are now. But anyway, I have got to cook my meals I've got to do dishes. I got to cook my meals for the week. I have lost 28 pounds since like May or June. Been working out. Been working out. Not this morning though, because oh my goodness, I stayed up way too late last night. All right. Y'all have a great and wonderful day. If you wondering how to help the channel, go ahead. Oops, it's over here. Easiest way is the best way is to buy some merch. Easiest way is to hit that like button, that subscribe button, that little notification bell. We love you in all things. Be anxious for nothing, but in all things in prayer and supplication, letting your requests be made known to God. And remember, he only answers 3 ways: yes, no, and wait. All right. Y'all have a great day. We love ya.